Well, I understand why they're doing it. I don't know if I necessarily agree because the restrictions were, um, the rules surrounding open houses were pretty strict to begin with. Like, there's only about 4 to 5 people permitted at a time. Usually, it was a household, and if there's only two per household, then we'd have maybe 2 households inside the property. You wear a glove. We'd actually take people's temperature. They'd sign a COVID form, a disclosure form, hand sanitizing, all of that. So most of the elements towards keeping safe were already in place, and it's not like the open houses were being crowded by 20, 30 people. But I understand. Now, I didn't do many open houses this year, actually. Even when the open houses were permitted, I only did one open house the entire time. So it's not like it's affecting my business that much. So I'm kind of indifferent about it. I don't really care.
Just to clarify, open houses are not meant for every property type, right? So
No.
you can be just to inform the people though, because they might hear you say you've only done one, and they might think, well, is he not successful? No, I'm saying you could truly be a very successful realtor and only conduct 1 to 2 open houses a year, because most houses you work with are older bungalows, condominiums don't typically have open houses. Even newly built properties, which I would say fit the portfolio of open houses, maybe that even pre-pandemic, you're working with owners who are not okay with open houses in a harder market. You don't really need it. It's honestly, if it's priced well and if it's promoted well, necessarily it will help, obviously, but it's not a must. But just to clarify,
I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yeah.
And actually, something that generally that I don't do with listings that I have. With condos, I generally don't have any open houses at all.
Well, condos are very difficult to have open
because
houses.
you need somebody downstairs to open a door for people that want to come in, and you need another person upstairs. So it's not really logistically. It's a bit difficult to manage. Now, with other properties, sorry.
You're getting emotional.
Yes,
it's okay, buddy.
This has touched my heart.
It's okay.
Sorry. So with other properties, the first 2 weeks, actually, I don't do open houses. Because usually it's nosy neighbors that just come around. Now, open houses are great for an agent to prospect and find new clients or talk with the neighbors that are just snooping around, wanting to see what the listing's like, what the interior's like, what the asking price is, so they can go back and compare it to their property and then say, yeah, of course, their property's worth more, which is usually what people think. So in order to get the property sold, I don't generally do open houses, because I think most people that are serious about buying the property want a private showing, a private appointment, so they can go through it with their agents. Or they'll call the listing agent directly and they'll say, can we schedule a private viewing so we can go through the property? Because that's what generally serious buyers are interested in. So to have an open house the first 2 weeks, just have the nosy neighbors coming through and checking the property and doing this and that, it's just, it's not conducive, because you're also taking away time from agents that are actually trying to book the property and see the property with their clients, and they want to do it. They want to have a private viewing. It's taking time away from those guys as well. So the first 2 weeks, if I know the property is going to sit for a bit or might be a bit more difficult to sell, the first 2 weeks I don't do an open house. I'll let the property be on the market and agents can book their appointments. And then if it doesn't sell, then after that, I'll start doing open houses, because I find that after that, the people that are actually coming to the open house are serious about that property.
And I agree. Frankly, never sold a property through open house. Never done an open house for another realtor who sold a property through me, or that I know of. Obviously, it happens. I know for a fact it does happen. But yeah, open houses are typically better for not even necessarily advertising yourself, although they can accomplish that. But just advertising the presence of a listed property within the community.
Right.
But yeah, so besides our own opinions on open houses, so you were saying earlier that the restrictions on the open house limitation or the ban now, you were saying previous restrictions were not liberal at all, right? They were like pretty strict.
They were pretty strict to begin with surrounding open houses. So, and most of they're concerned, the government's concerned about large group gatherings. That's why restaurants they're no longer permitting dine-ins. Gyms are now closed because that's 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people plus, right, in these establishments. Open houses, if the agent has half a brain, then he'll limit it down to 2 to 5 people inside the property, right? And the open house that I conducted during the pandemic, we have people waiting outside. I said, sorry, we have 3 people inside, 4 people inside right now. You have to wait. And it actually worked out to our benefit because there's more people waiting outside and just created a little bit more hype for that specific property. But, if the agent has half a brain, they'll manage it and they'll limit the number of people inside to maximum 5. So that's why I don't think it was necessary. But I understand it.
So let me touch on this. The reason I personally think that Treb and Oreo have deemed it such that open houses should be banned is not because they are placating to us, me and you, or other real estate agents. They're placating to the lowest of the low of real estate agents who, as you previously said, I think don't have a half a brain. So they're looking at it as such. We don't want to take the risk for, I wish I could say a couple of bad apples, but there's a lot of, not even bad apples, but just stupid apples out there that kind of bring down the perception of realtors. And I don't know if you're familiar with this story, and I think this story was really not the crux, but not even I won't even say it was the catalyst or the crux, whatever C word, but but I think it really motivated them to rethink the open houses. Was the most recent story of and I don't know if you know about this, the real estate agent who conducted the open house when the property was tenanted and the tenant was sick. And have you heard of this story?
Yeah.
And the tenant was so sick that he put a sign on the bedroom during the open house saying, "Hey, please do not knock or come in. I am sick."
This was somewhere in the beaches there, if I'm not mistaken.
And the realtor conducted that open house knowing full well that there was a sick tenant in there. And apparently 1 or 2 cases have been traced to that open house. Right? You didn't know about that part, did you?
No, I didn't know about that. Yeah. But that's just that's negligent and stupid on the part of the agent. And that agent should be fired. I think they should just remove his license.
That agent? No. I mean, he should definitely face some punishment. Now, removing his license, maybe he's just a younger agent, made a dumb mistake.
No,
I don't know
think
about
he was a broker of record, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, my God. Was he really?
I think so. It was a smaller brokerage. The reason why I say that, I'm not saying he should lose his license specifically for this incident. I'm thinking that if this guy's stupid enough and negligent enough and careless enough that he is still hosting an open house when he knows there's a sick tenant inside, then God knows what this guy is, what else he's willing to do and what else he has done. And so I'm just saying, speaking of bad apples, you've caught one.
Yeah.
There could be a list of other
things
that he's done. Just let's cut this guy loose.